Our discussion in this session of our LEAP 2020 conference is about an innovative approach to diversity when it comes to the marketing and advertising space. I'm Michelle Faison Oldham, and I'm joined today by Shay Phillips, VP of Corporate Strategy for AT&T. And Shay is the founder of a group within AT&T called the BMAC, or the Black Marketing and Advertising Council. So thank you so much, Shay, for joining me today. It is a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Wonderful. I'm excited to have you. So tell me about this group. Tell me about the focus of the BMAC and the importance of it.
Sure. The Black Marketing and Advertising Council is a bit of a passion project. It's not actually my day job. It's just a need that I saw in the business, and I wanted to be part of addressing an opportunity that I saw. And so essentially, we set out to partner with our marketing and advertising teams and provide what we saw as some critical insight into how Black consumers view advertising and things that advertisers may not view as your typical stereotype or things that may be offensive to Black consumers, but we found to not be our favorite way to be communicated with. I guess I would put it that way. So we basically set out to what I would call crowdsource. What I would call cultural intelligence. And I'm a big fan of crowdsourcing. I actually do that in different roles that I've had, which is you have a pool of people who work for you, and instead of simply using them for the role that they have, people are multifaceted, and when you get them centered around a problem, people typically raise their hands to do more. So we reached out and we said, hey, we're looking for a group of people who are interested in providing feedback from a consumer perspective and partnering with our advertising teams and listening to what we plan to put out into the market and really giving candid and transparent feedback so that we can communicate to the Black community and Black consumer in ways that would resonate with them in order to drive better performance. And I got a resounding response to that. So
Wonderful.
It's been great.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful. So just as a quick piece of information, I saw this the other day. According to McKinsey, diverse companies are now more likely than ever to outperform financially. And this is based on years of research that they've conducted and just recently released. So with that in mind, what has been the impact then so far with this group, and what are some of the key insights, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you think about it, most companies are going after diverse customer bases. And so if you're going after a diverse customer base, of course, you want to have diverse employees because you want your employee base to reflect your customers. And so why not make sure that when you're talking and communicating to your customers that you're doing it in a way that would resonate with them? Mm-hmm. And so in our early working partnership with the advertising team, we really saw some quick wins around being able to really influence changes in scripting and pick the way they pick talent. So, making sure that, we were, and also one of the really big things we were able to influence is the representation of the Black family. So what we were noticing was that in the advertisers, we were seeing a lot of single mom and children scenes. And what we really wanted to see was more nuclear families. And so one of our goals is not to just make sure that we're not perpetuating stereotypes, but we also want to be aspirational. And, so we thought about what are the types of roles that we want to see multicultural and Black Americans in our advertising. And so we really provided a lot of feedback around that. And the other thing that's really been cool, because again, we're using real employees and people who are out in the market, is that the people who are in the focus group have experience beyond just being Black consumers. So a funny story, the other day, we were on our monthly review call and we talk a lot about what is the culture of the people who will play different roles, and they mentioned the culture of one of the characters, and they said that the person was going to talk about their ham sandwich. And then someone said, hey, I don't know if you know this, but that culture doesn't eat pork. And so it was one of these things where, like, this is the kind of, and it may not seem like a big thing, but if you're the person who is watching that commercial and is portraying your culture, doing something that you know that your culture does not do, that can make a significant impact about how you feel about a brand. Absolutely. And so having those types of insights are very important. And it's such a small thing, and it's free because these are employees who already work for you, and they're just excited to be part of the process and to have a seat at the table and be influential in how you do business.
Absolutely. And contribute. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, so knowing that, what do you think are, I guess, other steps that that other companies can take, to implement a similar model?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that companies should be aware that when you start to think about marketing, it's really important to understand how different cultures feel they're being portrayed in marketing. So I recently read an article that referenced an Adobe study from 2019, and it said that 56% of African Americans and 53% of Hispanics and those from Latin America feel like that they are portrayed in stereotypical ways in advertisements, which is really a high percentage. And my guess is that, of course, companies aren't setting out to do that, but I think sometimes there's a lack of understanding of what we may feel is a stereotype versus what people view as, I'll call, kind of the well-known typical stereotypes. So the first thing I would say companies should do is, first and foremost, if you can, you should actually go and hire a marketing firm that specializes in speaking to these diverse cultures. But if you can't, then simple thing to do, first and foremost, be really clear about who is your target segment. And then secondly, identify employees in your company who represent that target segment. Mm-hmm. And then the third thing we did was we really put a framework in place working with our advertising team to become a trusted partner. And it's funny, I actually got an email from one of our advertising directors who said, when we first started this, I was like, oh God, another group of people that we have to talk with. But he really thanked us for our contribution and what we helped them do. So if you're going to go through the process of identifying a group, we call them a focus group, make sure that they are really viewed as a trusted partner and that you listen to their feedback, because these are the people that you're ultimately trying to market to and trying to sell to. And so you're getting real insight from inside your company from the same people that you're trying to sell to outside of your company. So first, be clear about your target market, identify people inside your company who represent that target market, and then offer them the opportunity to participate in your development and creative process. And then we actually just have a standing monthly meeting and also have like a process that we put in place to do out of cycle reviews if there's like a hot item that can't wait for our monthly review.
Great. No, that's a great framework. Well, so if folks want to find out more information, how would they go about doing that?
Sure. They can probably just send me a note on LinkedIn under Shay Phillips. I'm available and I can answer questions for them and show them how to set it up for their own company.
Wonderful. Well, very insightful, Shay. Always a pleasure to speak with you. And thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good one.
Okay.